welcome back to my channel. I am Stacy. Today I have a video that's not my normal content, but it has been requested nonetheless. And to be quite honest, I have hesitated putting this out there. I've had people asking me for probably over 6 months now. It's the number one question I get asked. Stacy, how have you lost weight? What have you been doing? Tell me your secrets. I've got to know. And I've been hesitant to put it out here because it is very personal. It is me sharing with you guys how much I weigh, how much I was at the biggest point in my life. And it's not scary because I really don't care, but it's the fact that if I fail, if I slide and go back, that number is out there. People know what I weighed and know what I was at the biggest point in my life. And not that they're going to intentionally be like, don't let yourself get back there, but you'll always have people looking at you no matter what you do like, all right, now you might not need to have that because you could backslide. And you know, they come from a nice place, but I don't know, maybe it's just all in my head. You let me know. But anyway, this video is going to be in 2 parts, and I know, I hear you screaming, I know. This one is part 1. It is going to be a background history. I thought I needed to split it up because I know I'm long-winded. I know this. Part 1, background, how I managed to get to the biggest point in my life. Part 2, which a lot more people are interested in, I'm sure, is what I started doing to lose the weight, what I am currently doing, all things of that nature. I know, I'm sorry to split it up, but I knew it had to be split. Before I get into it, I do want to put a disclaimer out there, a trigger warning if you will, that in this video I will say things like I was fat, I was disgusted with myself, that I was not comfortable in my own body. So if these are triggering words for you, just know that that is going to be in this video. Thirdly, I want to talk about food. Now, if you're here for tips and tricks as it relates to food, this isn't going to be the video for you. Now, my process is not heavily dealt with food. I am not a big food eater. I am not someone that thinks about food, is an emotional eater. When I'm bored, I eat, and that's not a dig at anybody that is that way, but I've just never had that relationship with food. So my process, I knew I had to focus on exercise and making that a priority. I'm not saying that food is not an important aspect of your diet and lifestyle. I'm not saying that. I know I'm going to have to focus on that, but currently, right now, I'm not focused on it. So just wanted to get that little clarification out of the way. Now we're going to go through some photos here. This is me as a baby. To this day, I am still obsessed with sunglasses. This next photo here, again, I never said I was a little fashionista. Check it out. I get it early, okay? Then we'll go into this Easter photo. Adorable. Here is a picture of my brother and I on a horse. As you see, average sized kid. And then we'll go into this photo. I believe, yeah, I'm in 5th grade here. So whatever age that is. And I'm not going to say I'm overweight here, but I definitely have, what is it called? No, not chub. What is it called? Baby fat. That's the word. I maybe have a little bit of baby fat to me. But then when we go into this next photo, I believe I am 11 here. You can definitely tell I am bigger. And it could just be me, but I do not look like an 11-year-old here. I look older. But that being said, throughout my life, I have been overweight pretty much my entire life. Now, as a kid, 11 and up, I have had to shop at different clothing places than my peers. My peers could normally go to places like Hollister, Abercrombie & Fitch, PacSun, things like that. Me, I had to go to Lane Bryant, the Avenue, or department stores and go to the women's section. Back in the 90s, and this may make me sound so old, but back in the 90s, plus size was unheard of. Even junior plus sizing was kind of unheard of. You didn't have that. So I had to go, like I said, to the women's department stores to find clothing. And I have never been bullied for my weight by anybody except for myself. And I know that is so cliche to say, like, you only bully yourself. But it's the truth. I am my own worst critic. I am beyond hateful to myself if I am in the right frame of mind. So I don't need nobody else. I have always not liked my body. I have never been comfortable in it in a day of my life. I have never accepted the way it looks. I have hated it. And that's not me looking for sympathy. That's just me being honest right now. I have never liked the fact that I am fat. I have hated it my entire life. I have tried at multiple times in my life from 11 up to lose weight. I have tried diet pills. I have went to those little hypnosis things and tried that. I have went to the not the clinics, but the classes where they put a staple in your ear. Yeah, I did that. I had a staple in my ear because it was supposed to help with the weight loss and hunger and stuff. Yeah, crazy. I've tried multiple things throughout my life. I have tested the waters in exercising, but I was never consistent with it. We'll get to that. So there are different moments in my life. I have tried, always. You know, I have restricted myself, went from this type of soda to a diet soda to more water. I've tried it all. Now, people ask me all the time, why am I so obsessed with costuming? Why am I obsessed with the movies? Well, it come at an early age. The very first time I can remember is I wanted to be a cheerleader. Yeah, you heard that right. I wanted to be a cheerleader. Why? I wanted to wear the uniform. I thought the uniform would make me look cute. Okay, if we're being honest here. I knew visually it wouldn't look on me the way I was wanting it to look because, again, I am very much a visual person. Like I was saying about not liking my body, the reason I haven't is because I'm a visual person. I can see myself wearing certain styles that I want to wear. I can see myself doing certain things, but this body is a hindrance. It is a disappointment because it restricts me from doing the things I want to do, from wearing the things I want to wear. And so as a kid, I don't know, even though I knew the cheerleading uniform would look differently than how I envisioned it, I just wanted to be a cheerleader to have the uniform. If I'm being honest, that's the only reason. So, you guys, this is the cheerleading uniform. This is not a cheerleading uniform. This is a PE changing uniform, okay? There is a difference. To say I was disappointed and pissed off is the understatement of the year. So let's move on from that into this next photo. Now, I am a kid from the country. I lived there as a kid. There's not a lot to do, so I did take up square dancing. Don't judge me. Again, it goes back to my love of costuming. Think Gone with the Wind, but shorter. So I did blur the girls' faces in this photo. I know they wouldn't care, but I did it anyway. If you could see their faces, they're all smiles because look at them. They're in these gorgeous dresses fulfilling my dreams. And then there I am in this frumpy blue skirt, flat blue skirt, no petticoat, no nothing. And I just look completely sullen. And I mean, obvious, look at me compared to the other two. Now, not their fault. The event that we were at was telling us, you know, oh, well, if y'all want, you can go in the back storage room there, and if there's a dress, you can wear it for the event. Well, obviously, they had their sizes. They didn't have fatty sizes, so here I am, still in this thing I come in, this flat blue skirt, looking like Violet Beauregard as a blueberry. And then they're in these gorgeous dresses. Now, if you'll recall earlier when I was talking about PacSun, Hollister, all those places, we're gonna move into this picture here in the red jacket. Now, I normally would not share this photo because I personally don't deem it flattering, but I brought it up because of the red jacket. It is finally something age appropriate that I am supposed to be wearing. Like, I am a hot-natured person. I live in Louisiana. I am in a jacket because it is age appropriate. Something I am supposed to be wearing, so you better believe I wore that jacket out the wazoo. Now, as I got older, as you'll see these pictures here, I just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, unfortunately. Now, in my early 20s, I did go and get Vaser liposuction. What is that? If you don't know, I don't even know if it's still around, but at the time, it was supposed to be less invasive than liposuction. And I was all up for that. I was like, yeah, liposuction scares me. Liposelection? Not so much. But anyway, spent thousands of dollars on this procedure. No results. Spoiler alert, no results at all. They were no worse, but they were no better. Now in a minute, I'm gonna get into how I document my measurements and everything when I get in the frame of mind to start losing weight. I am very thorough. I have all the measurements down. So I had these measurements before I had the procedure done. I had the measurements 6 to 9 months afterwards, because they tell you, oh, wait 6 to 9 months for the final results to appear. Where a girl was waiting 6 to 9 months and I seen no results, okay? Like, you've seen the photos. I understand. I know I was fat to start with, but to see absolutely no results whatsoever, that was very, very disappointing. It was a very bad time, and yeah, it just was not a good deal. Not a good deal at all. Just further digging in the fact that I was willing to do practically anything to lose weight except for the glaring obvious reason, solution. Now, like I said, at different points throughout my life, I have tried to lose weight. Now, I found some measurements and stuff that I have documented. These are not the only times I've tried losing weight. As I've discussed, since I was 11 years old, I have tried losing weight. These are just some examples that I could find that I could actually show you. So in January of 2013, we have some notes that I wrote. I was real big into DDP yoga that year. So on the 7th, I did 15 minutes of the red hot core. The next day, I did like 20 minutes of light cleaning around the house. The next day, I did an hour of the diamond cutter. The next day, 30 minutes below the belt. Next day, rested. Next day, rest. Next day, rest. And then I was like, oh, you done rested 3 days. You need to start working out again. So I got an hour of doing something else. So I had this written out to keep me accountable. And that just, like I said, I could see a visual representation like, oh, 3 rest days? No, you need to do something. So as I was starting in January of 2013, I have my measurements written down, all these columns. I have January, February, March, you know what a column does. And so, like I said, I am very thorough with my measurements. I've got my weight. I've got my BMI, which I know that's outdated. You're not supposed to use that, blah, blah, blah. I got my water percentage. I've got my left arm, right arm, bust, natural waist, hips, left thigh, left calf, right thigh, calf. I got the whole shebang. Like I said, I want details. I want to know. And I'm not one of those people that's going to hold the tape real tight or real loose. No, I want it to be accurate. It's not going to help me unless I'm doing this the right way. So January 7th of 2013, I was 22 or 23. I'll flash it on the screen. 252 pounds. That is not who I thought I would be as a 22/23-year-old. That's not the way I saw myself. That's not the way I envisioned myself in the least. No. And so apparently that must have been my frame of mind, because I was trying to lose weight again. And I had a goal. By May 1st, I wanted to be 30 pounds down. Which that wasn't a bad goal. 30 pounds in 5 months. I had done 30 pounds in 3 months prior. I'll have that photo flashed. And I bragged about it when I lost the weight that time. I did. I was cocky about it, and I said, ooh, look who lost 10 pounds before her weight loss date. And that is when I really stopped talking about losing weight, because I was, like I said, I was cocky, posted that picture, and then I got to a standstill. I couldn't lose anymore, and so I quit bragging about it. But anyway, that wasn't an unrealistic goal. However, by March, I had only lost 10 pounds. And compared to the results that I'm getting today, I know you're not supposed to compare, but that wasn't good results at the time. The inches, there was really nothing to be said. A half inch here, a half inch there, nothing major. And apparently in my mind, I was like, I'm not doing nothing, so let's stop. And I quit. I don't have anything for April. And then we move into October 28th of 2014. I was 24. And I done rose from 252 to 274 pounds. What are you doing, Stacy? What are you doing? You're getting fatter is what you're doing. And so 274. Again, this is not the person I am supposed to be. This is not who I want to be. But again, I didn't continue anything. And then apparently I found this paper again and wrote out from 2013, wrote 2016 on it. Couldn't be bothered to write down my weight that day. Apparently it was still in the 270 range because I didn't write it down. I just wrote the measurements, which are basically the same, which is weird. I've always been about the same measurements was. Anyway. And then we move on to our final measurement, which is April 5th of 2018. Now, before I read out the measurement, this wasn't a shock to see this number. I could see the photos. I could see the roundness in my face. Much like the way this video is being shot, that's how I want a picture taken of me. I don't want waist down. No, thank you. Ugh. And so, yeah, it's not like it was a shock. I knew I had to have been this size. I knew it. But still, got on the scale because I just knew. And I was 297 pounds. You heard that right. 290 freaking 7 pounds. What the hell, Stacy? What the hell? You would think seeing that number would have jump-started me and I would have started right then and there. Let's work out. Let's get to doing something. No, I didn't. I went through April 2018. We rocked on into November. In November of 2018, I hit my head, split it wide open, had to get 9 staples. And I mean, you could argue that knocking one's head open, the worst injury I have had to date, that maybe that did knock some things loose. Not recommended. But you could argue, yeah, that was what changed things in my mind. But again, I didn't start my process until January 8th of 2019. Now granted, I know it took about a month for the wound to heal and everything and for me to be cleared to go back to doing whatever. Not that I was doing anything to start with, but I know it did take an additional month afterwards for me to get in the frame of mind. Now, I have shared the story with a few people, and I'm sure when I told the story, they were like, that's the story you're going with as the turning point? I wouldn't share that story, but I'm only going to share it because I want to get you in my frame of mind. Now, at the end of December, I could tell January, just 2019 in general, wasn't starting off well. There was personal things going on that I don't want to discuss, but I could just tell it wasn't going off to a good year. I mean, for crying out loud, November, I split my head open. And so we go into January 8th. I'm ordering food to be delivered to my home. I have ordered multiple times before, no issues. Today there's an issue. It comes wrong. I am talking with the company, and it's back and forth, yada yada. Long story short, they don't want to help my food, get my food. The restaurant don't want to take care of the food aspect, but the company will. I am beyond livid at this point because I've been dealing with the restaurant this whole time, and I should have only been dealing with the company. But I'm just livid. I don't want absolutely anything at this point. I tell the company, look, it's not y'all's fault. Y'all are trying to help, but at this point, I don't want anything. Nothing. And they're more than helpful, and absolutely, and everything. And so in my frame of mind, I was already in a negative headspace that I was obviously fat. I mean, granted, when I saw the number in April and then up till January, I did lose 11 pounds. Ooh, you lost 11 pounds. But I did manage to get down to 286. So it wasn't like, ooh, you're only 3 pounds from, you know, that number. But still, I was in a negative headspace, did not care for the way I looked, still was really hating myself. Then that happened, the one thing I can't control, and it was out of my control and was completely wrong. It was just all the things combined, and I was like, you need to get in there. You didn't need the food anyway. You need to get your ass in there and start working out. Have you seen the scale lately? Do you not remember the number? And I try not getting fixated on the number either, because I know it's more about how you feel and how you think you look and everything. So I try not getting hung up on the number on the scale, but that's not a good number for me to have been. I can acknowledge that. And so I went into the living room at 8:30 that night and put on the We Fit Plus and started right then and there doing that. That is how I started. Food wasn't a big thing for me, and it finally clicked with me that I have to make exercise a priority for me, because food's not my issue here. My issue is I'm not doing anything to take the calories off, you know, to offset these calories. And so that's why, for me personally, I had to make exercise a priority, and that's what's working for me. That may not work for you. I knew that going to the gym wasn't going to be something that I could stick to. I knew I had to find something that was enjoyable for me to start at home slowly and incorporate it into my daily life. And I know you're thinking the We Fit Plus sports, all of that, you're like probably turning your nose up at it. But the fact of the matter is, I wasn't doing anything. Now this is at least getting me started doing something. I'm being active for at least 30 minutes, an hour, however long I'm sitting there playing this game, being active. It was a push in the right direction, and that's all I'm saying is you just need to find something that you're gonna find that is enjoyable for you to start you off, and then you build yourself up from there. That's a good stopping point. I'm gonna leave that sentence for part 2, and we'll pick it up there. But thanks for watching this video. Leave a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions. Ring the bell so you'll be notified when part 2 comes around. Till next time, I'll see you guys. Bye.